Hello and welcome, it's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com here to do a quick video on how to capture resources in Elder Scrolls Online. So I want to explain what resources are and then give a live example of a group clearing a resource and talk about how I do it. First thing, there's no exact way to capture a resource. If you have a lot of bodies, you can just YOLO and kill everything, great. But if you're playing on a lobby server or something else, you might want to be a little more tactical about it because it can be difficult. So I'm playing my Nightblade right now, Daggerfall, so that's why these guards aren't attacking me. But what a resource is, basically, each keep, this is a keep, this is an outpost. Outposts do not have resources. Resources are at keeps that we control. So I am blue, so I control the resources. If you want to actually click on the keep itself, it pops up this window on the left-hand side. It talks about the resources wood, food, ore. What does that do? Essentially, that makes it harder for enemies to take over keeps. So stronger doors, door regeneration, they'll come back faster, Mage's Guild. So the longer this thing is going, the longer they have the resources, the harder it is going to be to take this keep. It actually tells you what each thing does. So level 5, mages and archers have longer range. So there's incentives to take keeps. Some people don't think so, but I do. So let's say if I'm trying to take a BRK, which is a really, really strong keep, I can see that this is going to be hard to take. It has food at 5, it has ore at 5, all these bonuses, it's going to be hard to take. So it's something to think about when you're scouting out which keeps you want to take, or also on defensive. So I know Fort Allswell has maybe just got taken by the blue because it hasn't been up that long. So that's a reason to take resources. Another reason is it cuts off transit. When you're sieging a keep, you can cut off transit one of two ways. Siege the walls down to about 50% will cut off transit, meaning you can't just transit from this keep to go inside of here. You can also cut off transit by taking all 3 resources. Not only does it make the keep stop generating things, cutting off transit. So usually when you're going to siege a keep, you're either going to siege it without taking any resources, or you're going to take all of them. Another thing to do about resources is where to siege and why. So if I'm going to take over, let's say, this keep here, Robeck, it's going to be hard to take over. Basically, each keep points towards the Imperial City, their front door. Don't siege from the front door. So ideally, you'd want to end at the mine, take the mine here, and siege on this back door right here. Because once you breach that wall, you can go to the inner wall and have a safe spot. So ideally, if you take this resource, you have a place to fall back onto with friendly NPCs to help you kill opponents. It's a good fallback point. So that's the reason why you take resources. A resource is just this. You got NPCs, friendly or enemy, right here. You also have some guards rolling about in the back. They kind of walk around. And then also a really, really important siege merchant vendor here. So the siege merchant sells siege. I'll have another video on that. Better repair. So once you flip a resource, these vendors will come out eventually. Also, you can siege this tower and knock it down. As you can see, it's at 71% the tower is. So if we go into the tower, and I will show you how to do a tower farm later, you can actually repair this back up to 100%. So if like 100 people are in here, enemies, and you want to get them out, you can actually siege down this tower. Tower has 3 floors. So here, a little outer lip thing. Go back around. And upstairs. You can place oils in tactical positions, which, yes, I will be doing a video on that. And you can place up siege up here. So it's a really, really, really strong point to hold if you're sieging a keep and you want to fall back. So some of these outer keeps here at Dragonclaw don't get repaired, so you can get some easy AP just by repairing them if you don't want to fight. And that's a basic resource. So now let's do the video on actually taking it over and do some talk points going through. Also know that these guards do scale, so they're going to be about VR12 on the lobby server. So they are a handful for lobbies. VR14, not so much. People can just YOLO in and kill them all. Let's talk about how to take it over. As you approach the resource, make sure you're going from the right angle. I like to go behind. You'll notice 3 things that are really important. 1 is a tower mage doing the most damage. Prioritize DPS there. 2 are all the mobs standing on the flag. They're going to shoot a bunch of ranged DPS at you and or negates. Be careful. Number 3 is usually a melee and a healer on the ground. Most important thing that I like to do is approach from the side here, limiting the amount of targets that can hit you and or see you. As you approach, make sure that you wait for your group members. Don't go YOLO in, especially on lower level characters. On my guy who's level 22, I would get instant nuked by all these guys. So as I approach here, I aggro this melee guard and then also the other two. So notice they'll start peppering me. One, you got the mage guard up top. Range DPS take care of them right away. The other melee guy can be knocked back and stunned, as well as keeping the healer on the left-hand side from casting. Those are your priorities. Usually you have Dragon Knights in front, so they can reflect all that range DPS that they're doing. Also, prevent these healers from casting. The more they cast, the more heals they're going to do, thus taking this a lot longer. Just like, good old PvE, make sure they're not casting. These are NPCs, so you at some point stun the crap out of them. You can stun them over and over. And at some point, you're going to have to charge in. The charge. There's 2 healers, 2 melee, a tower mage hopefully is dead, and then additional mobs in the background. What you want to do here is stun lock them. So usually a negate, a nova, I'll do a veil of blades here, stun them. They're NPCs, and don't aggro additional mobs. Standing on the flag is what flips this resource, nothing else. So once I get here, I'm going to drop Veil of Blades, so mitigating some damage. Someone drops a Nova, and now we're killing them. So what determines if you get the resource or not is bodies on top of the flag. So you can see here shortly, the flag is going to start turning. In the bottom middle, it's kind of covered up, and then also the top flag, there's a little bar that shows if it's going to be captured or not. So once that bar fills up, you'll notice the flag change, and that's when you actually can move off the resource. It's important to watch what you're doing here, because if an enemy is careful, they know you have to go on the resource. They're going to shoot it with Siege. So you got a few things here that you can do. Get Siege of your own from the Siege Merchant Vendor. Make sure you spread out, because you will get nuked if you don't spread out. Get into stealth if you're doing nothing, or get into the tower if you're going to defend this resource. But everyone should be doing something, and if you're doing nothing, get in stealth. And that's basically a resource. You can start moving away as soon as that flag changes. And so it's pretty easy, but I like to use little tactics. Hopefully this helps, and way more PvP videos to come.